Welcome to the first episode of
Are we just
In
starting?
Studio Brother Movies.
We're just starting. Ooh, there I am. We got the auto zoomy thing.
Yeah, guys, look at this. Moving up in the world.
Mm.
We have started to put together our little home studio here.
Yep.
And this is the first.
No, we're renting this space. This is for the studio. Downtown ATL.
Yeah,
This
but
is our
I'm living
space.
here.
We're renting it out.
I'm moving in.
You're moving into our professional studio. We only rent this like twice a week. When you
It's either I spend the money to rent our studio
mm-hmm.
or an apartment. And I figured that the studio is more important.
Are you? Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know if they're gonna be okay with that though. But yeah,
guys,
we're here. We're doing it.
This is our first, because the only other video that we have on our channel of actual video,
Mhm.
besides just our logo, is the Fitness Boys. Mr. and Mrs. Fitness, that episode, with Matt Lane Fitness and Jenna Lane.
And so we copied their setup, and here we are.
No, we didn't. Look at our globe. Look at the globe.
It's Mysterio's head.
I was going to
He's in
say,
there.
just tell me what, someone's got to tell me what it is. You know what I mean?
Oh.
If you can tell. I'm sure you can tell from here, from that
Yeah,
angle.
it's
Anyways,
super
so if
obvious.
you guys are listening to this just on audio, we're plugging hard now into YouTube because we are actually recording our episodes, like filming them now. And is our studio still a little bland? A little bit.
Yeah, so
But it's a progress.
So?
We wanted to we didn't want to just start with a bunch of crazy stuff, you know what I mean?
if
All
we
of it,
started all the way at the top,
because it wouldn't be
there was nowhere to go.
and it's not fun for you guys because you can't follow along in the studio building process, you know?
Send
We're
us
doing this for
stuff
you.
to put in the studio. I want pictures of people's feet while they're watching movies, so it has a connection.
You just
A
want
movie
feet on our
connection.
walls?
Yeah.
I don't want
Can you
feet.
imagine just all this space in the background, just feet? Just people's like shitty Polaroid pictures.
I'm good on that, dude. I'm good on
I'm
that.
just saying.
Anyways, I'm excited. This is cool.
be pretty neat.
We got a setup, and we're good. We're good to go.
And we haven't recorded in a while. This is weird.
Yeah, this is.
I'm feeling loose and new and all you know what I mean? Like
we
it's-
are busy boys,
Mm.
and so sometimes we have to batch record and record a bunch of episodes in advance, which is what we had to do. We recorded like 8 episodes in like 2 weeks,
yeah, I know as hell.
maybe more. I don't know. And you know what's crazy?
Mm.
Your boy's about to be gone for like 2 weeks.
Yay! So we're gonna do it again.
We're out of episodes. So here we are. We're there's gonna be a little more. Would you call it casual? I don't know if I'd call it casual. A little more broad episode. That's a good
Yeah.
term.
We're tackling a topic. Wow.
We're tackling
Wow.
movie news. Well, the state of movies and where that might go based on facts and then our own
Mhm.
speculation. But first,
Yep.
it has been a while. You have to have a story for me.
Yeah, I got some stuff. You know what I mean?
You went.
I got
You
some
went,
stuff.
and I
Who
had a
knows?
fun trip to St. Louis for undisclosed reasons. My alarm's going off.
Wow.
guys.
We're the height of professionalism.
Yep. All right. Anyways, so yeah, I went to St. Louis just because, you know. I was just like I wanted
2 weeks in St. Louis just 'cause.
I want to see a big metal rainbow. And I saw one.
They have one there?
Yeah.
What's it for?
The arch. It's like
Oh.
a monument.
Is it a rainbow though? It's
No,
not
but an
multicolored, it's just white. It's that
arch.
big white
Yeah.
arch, right?
It's not. It's steel. It's like shiny.
Yeah, but it's just white.
It's not,
not-
white. It is like gray, like a shiny steel.
I thought, what am I thinking of? There's a big white arch in a city somewhere. Am I crazy?
You're thinking of. You have to be thinking of the St. Louis Arch, and just thinking that it, like in some pictures, it probably looks white.
Like the sunny side up
This
kind
one,
of a thing.
this one right there. That's it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
white.
It's not white. All right, so
I'll throw a picture of it right
Nate's
here.
lost his smell,
I'm not going to do that.
his taste, and now he's slightly colorblind. What will be next?
Yeah.
So
slightly colorblind,
stories.
I
You
think.
said you got something for me.
No, I don't. But I really meant that I've watched some whack ass movies while you've been away. And I wanted to talk about those
Okay.
briefly.
Okay.
So I have a thing that I've decided I'm gonna do. This is gonna take me it may take me a year. I'm not sure. It's gonna be a long process. But I have started watching every single Best Picture winner ever from the beginning, and I'm gonna go all the
When
way
did
through.
the Oscars start? Beginning of time?
1929.
Like Land Before Time?
That's the first one. Is Land Before Time, the TV show with Little.
You said ever.
Yeah, ever. Like the best picture from
Right.
ever. That would have a beginning. What do you mean? At least as the first movie.
Forever. Forever is forever.
Yeah. So it began in 1929. So it's like 73 years or something like that.
And you're
of
starting
movies.
from that year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've already watched the first one, which I did not realize was a silent film. So and it was 2.5 hours long. It was not fun.
We had to watch silent films at AMDA.
Yeah, I have seen some, but never a full-length one. Because
I've
I
s-
had some film classes back in a while back, too.
Yeah, we watched a couple in full. And, I mean, it's different.
Like
Yeah,
Chaplin stuff. And
Depends
stuff
on the
like that.
movie, I guess. But
This one, you know what's weird about silent films that I didn't know until I watched this one? Because, like, when you watch them, you'll notice that, like, the frame rate is really weird and fast. Like, all their motions are all weird and, like, sped up almost looking.
yeah.
It's almost like overacting, kind of like sped up, like, all that kind of shit.
Because I think that has to do with
I know.
how fast you like crank the camera, right?
No.
Mine it is.
No. It was because
You know what I'm talking about, right?
yes, I know what you're talking about,
Because
but
doesn't
no.
that feed the film through?
So
So if you do it too fast,
I
well, I
guess,
guess-
but no. Well, so what
no,
I
because that would just have more frames per
that-
second.
if it were
different.
straight up by on the menu, it would be the frame rate would be all over the place. It would not be like any uniform thing at all. I think
manual
I
shutter
think
speed.
by this time they had gotten past the crank camera. But the reason it was that they actually filmed stuff in like a much higher frame rate before they put in sound, and it wasn't until they had to mix sound in with the film that they like settled on the like 29.95 frames per second like movie standard. So it used to be like in like 40 frames per second. A lot of those old films are. That's why everything looks all weird and fast.
That doesn't make any sense. The frames per second shouldn't
Mhm.
matter if you're filming it the same.
No,
The way you show them back
when it's
shouldn't.
it's recorded at a higher like
Okay.
speed. That's why it looks faster. It's not that it's shown at a higher.
That's
or
if it's
both.
recorded. It doesn't matter if it's recorded at higher speed. You can watch something that's recorded at 60 frames per second,
Mhm.
and if it's as long as it's then shown in the same frames per second, it looks natural.
Well, it must have been shown at the same at a
higher
frame
rate.
rate because I looked this up why it was.
Because
and
60 frames per second is what you do slow mo in. You can do 60 frames per second. It just doesn't feel as cinematic. It's like more like flowy, but it's not faster.
yeah,
it's just
you
so
can
you play
yeah,
back
I know
in
what you
half
mean.
the rate. So they had to play it back at a weird rate. It's not about
yeah,
recording
it's
it.
at some part of that had to be like a faster recording. That's basically what they said. I'm probably butchering it, but
Welcome to this episode where we
wow,
don't know
well we
anything
just
about what
don't
we're
know
talking about.
shit at all. This is the one thing we're supposed to know something about, and I just fucking it up.
You tried, and I shut you down. But it's okay. I said you crank the movie
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if, like, in movie theaters, there's a guy and the projector just for 2 hours to, like,
Jesus
play it
Christ.
back?
Oh my god.
Just cranking hard.
But there was actually another one that was just kind of anecdotal. This one, there was another movie I watched because Netflix kept pushing it on me for whatever reason. They wanted me
movie
to watch this movie called Devil's Advocate. Have you ever heard or seen
No.
this? Okay, this is Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, 1977. It is the most whack-ass movie I've ever seen. It's hilarious. First of all, this really solidified, man, when Keanu is not John Wick, the man cannot act. I'm sorry. It's so
You
bad.
don't like him in Matrix?
No, I mean, well, Matrix is weird. I haven't seen Matrix in a while. And in Matrix, he's doing kind of like, I guess the movie just has to really play to him, like doing his voice in that weird, like low kind of, not gravelly, but he has this weird cadence about how he speaks that's so hard to fit with anything. You know what I mean? But in this movie, he is a Florida defense lawyer, so he's doing like a weird Florida Jacksonville like accent. That's kind of like this, but it's Keanu doing it, so it's awful the whole time.
Really?
He's married to a very young Charlize Theron in the movie, and basically the idea of the movie is that he's a defense attorney, so obviously defense attorneys have to like defend perhaps guilty people and act like they're innocent in order to get them off, that kind of thing, right? So it's all about like defense attorneys are evil because they have to do that. Classic movie trope stuff. But he's really good at his job, gets an offer to move to New York and be part of Al Pacino's like super law firm, blah, 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 goes through all this process, dumb stuff. Turns out Al Pacino is the devil. Like literally straight up, just in your face, he is the devil. Like there's one point in which he walks into a church and puts his hand in holy water, and just it's like, and he's like, ah, it's like weird, man. It's weird shit. And Keanu is his bastard son that he conceived like just with his mom. His mom was on a random field trip to New York.
It's basically the reverse story of Jesus. The devil comes to Earth and has a child.
So that's basically it. He wants Keanu to like.
Well, I guess
no, he wants Keanu to make a child to make the Antichrist. I don't know if that's biblical at all. If that's how that works, I don't know if the Antichrist is supposed to be the devil's grandchild. I don't know if that's a thing. But whatever. But yeah, it's just he goes around and it's just a ridiculous, insane movie. He's trying to like. There's one point where Keanu's trying to shoot Al Pacino, but he's the devil, so he's just like, he's doing this number like pew pew, and he's like, yeah, shoot me. It's so weird, man. It's the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen. And there's so many people
Matrix
in it.
Style, like dodging or just getting shot by
He's
bullets?
he's like trying to get shot. He's like hitting the bullet with his chest as they're hitting it. You know, and they're just kind of going like, and this is 97, and it's like, you know, it's bad CG kind of stuff that's going on. Yeah, it's really, really weird and weirdly raunchy. I found out like movies from back then and like the 80s and stuff like that, we're just looking for any excuse to get their actors naked, like all the time. I feel like that doesn't like there's not a lot of movies that do that constantly.
You tell me you see Keanu Reeves.
All out? No, you don't see full frontal Keanu, but Charlize Theron, yes. And it's very much like she's going insane. She's like losing her mind because obviously Al Pacino's the devil and he's the devil's son. So and they're married, so she's like losing her mind. She keeps thinking like her like baby who she's not even pregnant, but she thinks her not pregnant unborn baby, I don't even know what you call that, is trying to kill her. And there's one point in which she's got like scratches all over, and she's like dramatically throws off all her clothing to reveal all the scratches. And like, and we're in a church, and it's very strange. It's just
with other people.
There's like
service?
A couple nun. No, it's like she went to a Catholic cathedral like after hours or something. You know, they should have, you know, like in movies.
Can you imagine
they show.
if you're just in like a church service and just randomly the lady next to you starts screaming and ripping her clothes off.
And she's like covered in scrapes and Charlize Theron. Yeah, that would be fucking weird.
And then a baby just punches out from her stomach and rips open, and it's the devil's grandchild.
Yep. But yeah, I recommend it. It was good.
Thanks for that.
Oh, there was a really awkward scene where like it's in the beginning of the movie where like Charlize Theron and Keanu Reeves are married, and they're like celebrating. He got a big win or whatever, and they're at like a bar celebrating, you know, like dancing in a bar, they're drinking. But he does the most awkward shit I've ever seen. They're like dancing together. He leans over to her butt and bites it like in the middle of the dance floor, like playfully, and she goes ah ha ha, and then they go back to dancing. I was like, some director said, yeah, do that, or Keanu Reeves just did it and said, hey man, I was just improv, you know.
That's a little forward for
90s
some
movies
improv.
were raunchy, dude. It was a weird time.
Hey, you're cool if in this scene they just like secretly improv it. You cool if in this scene I just like lean over and bite your booty?
She'd probably negotiate for more money. I don't know if she was a big deal in 97 or not yet. But I didn't really realize that was a thing. Like actors and actresses will like want to go nude in a scene so they can get more money for the movie. It's apparently a thing that they do.
They want to go nude for more money?
Yes. Like they can negotiate more money for being in it because they had a nude scene. It has something to do with it. I've seen that talked about at least.
Interesting.
Yeah, bro.
Ooh, bro. Ooh,
I think especially if it's like somebody like really famous or something like that. You know what I mean? Like if Scarlett Johansson was going to be in like a film and like she was like, yeah, let me be naked, that would be a big deal. But yeah, Devil's Advocate. It's a weird movie. Oh, I also finally watched the second Jumanji movie, The Next Level.
Oh, the second of the reboot,
yeah,
so like the third.
Second of the.
What'd you think?
It was fine. I really thought Kevin
it.
Hart as the older black man was hilarious. I really thought his stuff made me laugh the most.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff, I think it might have been a stretch for The Rock to try to do the Danny DeVito thing. I didn't see it.
Oh, that was good.
Because he goes in and out of it. At times. He's like, sometimes he's doing like the old man voice like this, you know, like the New Jersey weird, you know, New England guy. And then other times he just like, I'm just The Rock now. Usually only for a second, and then he'll go back. But yeah, it's
Oh, it was pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was just as fun as the first one, really. I don't know. Sounds like you like the first one better.
it's fine. Yeah, I think I did. But just because, the first one had a fun gimmick about the swapping of the people and stuff like that, and this one just does it slightly differently. You know what I mean? So it's not. I feel like it's obviously not going to feel as new and different.
So
but I did laugh from it, so I mean, I think it's
any
successful.
non-movie things before we jump heavily into the movie things. Any interesting stories? Anything fun, interesting you've been up to recently? My guy, what's been going on?
I tried again as you do about 3 times a year, and then slowly fall back off, getting back into
Working out?
exercising
Yep,
again.
knew it.
Yeah.
Called it.
I'll tell you what though, the quarantine was bad for me, bro. I am because I am like heavy and like doughy and shit. Like I started running, right, as part of like a larger thing, and
no, I
like
don't
a larger
know.
larger
Explain.
exercise routine, like
Okay.
running 2 times a week was part of it, and so I never used to get like sore from running, except for like the first time I would do it after like not having done it for a while. Like my quads would feel a little like sore the next day, like getting up out of chairs and stuff. I'd feel it a little bit, but that was it. But now I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling it on the inside of my calves. And the reason why is because I figured out because when you come down while running, that's your like shock absorber is your calf.
Okay.
Right? And I'm gotten fat enough now where moving that long and that rough, especially because I run kind of up and down hills, when you're running down hills, it's making the inside of my calf sore. It's either that or I've like totally forgot how to run and I'm just flat foot, just slapping the ground.
Maybe my calves always get sore. So are you calling me fat?
The inside of your calf, like near the
it's like-
bone, or
it's like
like
the
the
back.
actual? No, that's right because that's like the toe up motion. And that's what should feel sore. No. Oh god. I just almost died on my water there. No, I'm saying like the inside of your calf, like like up underneath your shin almost. Like on, what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That part, I don't even know if that's actually technically your calf
Do
muscle.
I know what you're talking about? No, because I've never had pain there before in my life.
It's sore, like all the time now, because I've been running on it. And like, especially like the second time I went out running on it really sucked, even though I let like 4 days in between go by.
Maybe you don't know how to run, dude.
I've done this a lot before.
A lot? You don't run.
I said before, like a long time ago.
You didn't used to run a lot.
I did.
No.
Okay.
You did not.
Whatever.
I never run. I'm not trying to make myself look better than you. I don't run.
You don't know me.
I know you well enough to know you didn't run.
I'm talking about like a long time ago.
Like when you were 5? Just like little 8-year-old like running the marathon over here?
Yeah, bro. We're getting ready for my 5K.
That doesn't mean... The numbers in the Ks don't mean your age, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go and run like a 24K right now.
Dang.
Well, I'm glad you're getting back into exercising, and by that I mean you're not, because you were saying that you're now back out of it already.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's the natural flow of things. Like you get back into it, and like for a month, and then you fall back out. You know what I mean? I've even been doing like the charting all of your. Do you do that? Like that app that lets you like chart all your what you're eating and like the calories and everything and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, you tried to look up ice cream.
I just did. Yeah.
You looked up ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, what
no,
did
I found
find
that
good?
exact thing. The Ben and Jerry's fish food. That exact ice cream, which wasn't mine.
You just ate my mom's entire carton of fish food ice cream.
Because you said it was mine. Your fault.
I got you good, huh, dude?
Yeah, it got me, dude.
So you were trying to look up nutrition facts to see...
No, I was adding it on there so it'll say, like, hey, you're in the red for fat and sugar for today, you fat fuck.
By how much?
Like
no, that's what I'm saying. You were trying to figure out by how much.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you only put in the healthy stuff and then you don't put in the good stuff, then you're...
How much of a piece of trash are you today?
Well, I've actually been good, except for the half a carton of fish food. The reason I ate that so fast is because I haven't allowed myself to have any, like, sweets in the last, like,
Bro,
2 weeks.
I've had way too many sweets.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
recently.
Whenever you, like, go travel and stuff like that, you always end up... Not you, just, like,
I
people in
bought
general.
the Entenmann's or whatever, donuts. The full crumb
boom.
cake ones.
Boom. You're on it again.
Because where I was at, full crumb cakes.
Yeah, I still can't find those, man. That is only a Midwest thing, apparently.
Well, anyways, I don't really have much to say about any interesting thing that's happened because top secret
NDAs.
top secret St. Louis trip that
Wow.
it's some things I got in the works that you
It'll
guys
be
will
revealed
you will
soon.
you will find out some things I got in the works. But what I can say is the entire time that I was out there, I took like an average of 2 showers a day. Is that weird?
No, I mean, like, I feel like you have to start the day out with a shower. And
And it just
honestly, I like to
feels-
finish the day out with a
I
shower.
know, but then you wake up and you're like, I'm not dirty.
But I
want
want
to. I want to
like,
shower.
if I don't shower, like,
just
when I
feel
wake up,
refreshed and ready
my
to start.
face feels wrong.
You just said if I don't wake up, my face feels wrong. 'Cause you're
Well,
dead.
probably, yeah. No, but if I don't shower when I wake up.
I can't feel my face because
oh,
I am dead.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
I'm dead. I can't feel my face.
Woo. Okay. Getting
Um,
past all that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got addicted to taking 2 showers a day,
Dang.
and I feel like
You're on that free hotel water, too, so fuck it, right?
I mean, yeah. I don't know, cause I wake up.
Do
and I just
hotels have just giant hot water heaters?
tell you what, they never run out of hot water.
They never run out of hot water, right? So it must
I
be
guar-
like
if
the
every
basement.
single room of the hotel
Has
turns
its-
their hot water on, it'll run out.
Yeah.
It gotta run out.
Well,
It's not infinite hot water, dude.
I don't know.
There's not people in the basement shoveling coal into furnaces, keeping
Pretty,
it
pretty
hot
cool.
consistently. This ain't the Titanic, dude.
Oh, well, I guess you remember, was that what the, no, that was just the heating system in general. I was remembering in The Shining, the hotel has a big boiler room that they have to keep up, but that's just to keep it.
I immediately thought of the scene from Home Alone where the boiler room like almost has a personality. He's like, whoa, and then like this kid's like, ah, and runs away
Wait,
'cause he's
the
afraid of
first one or the
furnace.
second one?
The first one, I think.
Did
where
they have
he's
a
afraid
boiler
of
room in their house?
the furnace in the basement,
I guess they did.
and it was like terrifying.
a
He was
big
afraid
ass
to go
house.
down there.
They had like, man, it was a rich family.
I don't know why that's what came into my head when you were talking about The Shining, but it was. So I'm like mixing both movies
What if
together.
it was Macaulay Culkin as the kid in The Shining?
Say his name again?
Macaulay Culkin?
I feel like you can't really say his name without just
Macaulay?
like hoping you say it the right way and you just kind of slur it. Like Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin.
You just you know.
What
so
am I?
feel like
What?
I feel like I'm not saying you're wrong. I feel like that's a name
Macaulay Culkin.
that when you say it, when anybody says it, you just kind of got to
Well,
start
Macaulay
it. And
isn't a name. He
get through
his
it.
parents made that shit up, and we just all accepted it.
They just wanted to make it like Culkin.
Like
Macaulay
before
Culkin.
Home Alone, I wonder how many times. I mean, nobody got that right, Macaulay Clay, like
Macaulay Clay. How do you spell it?
I have no idea. It's like MAUCLU.
All right, we have the first annual That's Movies Brother Spelling Bee. Nate, we're happy you're up.
MAU Macaulay.
Your word is Macaulay Culkin.
Is wait, so
Would
okay,
you like me to use it?
MAU.
Would you like me to use it in a sentence?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Macaulay Culkin
Can you
straight
define
up
it?
murdered people in the movie Home Alone. Should have murdered people anyways.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's MAUCL.
Would you like the country of origin?
No, fuck off. I never understood why that would help anybody.
Because the way words are formed are different depending on where it originates.
I guess so, but if you don't know from the word like anything about it, and you have to be told that, like that,
Look,
you're done.
All I'm saying
You're
is
out.
in a spelling bee, you better ask it for a sentence and the country of origin. You'll look smarter.
I remember when I was in elementary school, I think we did an elementary school a spelling bee, and I got out on the word turkey.
That's hilarious. You're a turkey. Okay,
okay.
so your word is Macaulay
MAU.
Culkin.
CL. Why? CKY?
You are so wrong in so many ways from
Ah,
the very start.
It's okay.
You said MAUCL.
yeah.
That's
McCall.
No.
Lee Culkin.
It's Macaulay Culkin. I'll give you one more chance.
I don't even want to.
Your word is.
All right,
Macaulay
MAUC.
It's not MAU.
Okay, well then what? Then I'm done. Just tell me what it is. Jesus.
It is MACAULAY. Now, can you spell Culkin? This one's easier.
Oh, CULK. Wait, yeah, CULKIN.
Good job.
Yeah,
Half a point.
yeah. Am I going to regionals?
You know there was a guy named Thomas Baggington Macaulay, which is his first name, he was a former
Wait, his
British.
first name was Macaulay?
No, Macaulay Culkin's first name is Macaulay. You
Right.
dumb.
Okay. You just said that
But
wrong.
this
and weird.
man is Thomas Babington Macaulay,
Babington.
former British Secretary at War. Maybe that's who he was named after. So,
I
country of
doubt
Oregon
Oregon. Oh, I think I know.
is Britain.
Oh.
Britishan.
What do you think of Britain?
It's fine.
Just that.
It's
Cool.
fine.
Yeah, kind of the same.
All right, that's all we got. I don't have any other interesting news besides I'm gonna be super clean for the rest of my life. So I just feel like my skin's gonna get.
Oh, you're gonna keep taking
It's
some
gonna get
showers
super dry.
if you stop.
I feel like it's bad to take too many showers. No,
well,
if I keep
oils.
going.
Yeah, the oils on your skin, right? You wash them right off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just don't soap. Just soap at one and not the other.
I'm not gonna lie. For some of the showers, I would just kind of rinse and put minimal soapage.
Yeah.
Just to feel relaxed.
How this is gonna sound bad, but how far do you go into the soaping process? Like, how bad do you soap? Are you like shoulders, armpits, chest, I'm done kind of thing? Or
I don't understand, and we're about to find
I
out things
know.
about each other. We're about to find out things about each other we've never found out before. I don't understand people that don't wash their whole body.
Okay, so when you say whole body, how deep are you? Like in between toes, like like underneath every crack? Like, is your body like lathered white from soap, and then you rinse off?
I look like the Michelin Man, but instead of white tires, it's just suds. No, I'm just kidding.
'Cause like, I basically just get what I feel like are the dirty parts, and then I move on.
No, wash yourself.
'Cause the soap runs down to like the feet. I've never washed my feet. like actually like
I gotta go.
how would you do that?
I gotta go. You gotta give me a minute.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry it took us 2.5
This
hours
is now
to set
2
up.
edits now
Have
for
fun,
this
Nate.
fucking thing. I'm not editing this. This is staying in. All right. I just keep going. We'll do a Nate rant. Listen, guys. You don't need to wash your feet ever. Okay, unless someone's doing it for you, that could be interesting. Maybe a little soft kink going on there. But the soap, if you do upper body, the soap will run down and it'll touch some feet stuff. You know what I mean? But honestly, what are you even washing your feet for? You're not doing anything with them. They're just down there. They walk around. It doesn't matter. Like, they don't need to be washed. It's just a useless thing. If your foot had a mouth, then I would be like, okay, wash it.
You wash your mouth in the shower?
I wash the areas that come in and around mouth because that's
You
an
wash
orifice.
your mouth in the shower.
Wash your mouth in the shower.
There's a thing called toothpaste.
No, but I
And
do brush my teeth in the shower.
mouthwash.
Do you do that?
That's fine. I can get behind that.
The reason I started doing that, I didn't used to, but I started doing it because I'll find out that I have more patience to do it longer in the shower. While outside of the shower, I'll just be like, shh, am I done yet? And I'll get too bored.
Are you 5?
I have a very
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll pull up a YouTube video and look at the start time, watch the videos, and brush my teeth. Wait till 2 minutes passes and keep an eye on the time. Yeah, you're gross. I wash every part of my body when I take a shower.
Really? That must take so long.
I don't go between my toes, but I have a loofah.
That
Please
seems
tell
gross.
No,
I don't
what do
have a
you
loofah.
use?
My hands, body wires.
Body wires.
Body wires. I've got a little dispenser in there. It's got all you need. It's
loofah gets you sudsy, bro. You feel real clean. I have a
I've
loofah.
been a loofah, but
got
is
a
it
loofah.
clean in
I got a-
itself?
I
It probably
got
gets all moldy and
I
weird.
got a loofah on a stick, so I can get my back too. Because that midsection of your back,
Oh, I'm
there's-
never doing that. Yeah,
there's
never
like
done that.
there's probably just this oblong shape of just muck and dirt in the center of your back, dude.
No way! Someone would have said something.
Yeah, I wash my body when I get in the shower.
I don't know, man. That seems real new agey.
Let's jump into movies. We've been talking
100,000
about
years of human evolution of minimal washing. And what's special about us?
That
huh?
doesn't mean that we shouldn't wash our bodies.
I don't know. They all did it fine.
All right,
It's kind of like the paleo
Just stop.
diet, but just for your body.
Just stop then.
and washing.
Stop showering and let me know how it goes.
I already have to conform to some,
Tune in next
social-
week where we find out how Nate not washing his body goes for everyone around him. We'll be doing our podcast from 2 different locations. Let's jump into some movie stuff.
Okay.
So today
you
we're
ready?
going to be talking about the state of movies. So, coronavirus,
They're bad.
COVID-19, has put everything to a halt for production.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, all movie theaters are closed too. I mean, some are open limited, some are open full, but a lot of them, open limited or whatever.
Right.
And so a lot of things are being pushed back. Not a lot of new movies coming out. It's very interesting because we started, man, a majority of our podcast episodes is during all this.
Yeah.
Especially now that we've been doing 2 a week. So we were going to watch movies and then talk about them on this podcast. That's what we started
like brand
doing.
new stuff. And even though stuff
no,
has come out and we just don't review it.
Well, I'm down to do more than just stuff that's just recently coming out. But my whole point is like we were doing more of that, and obviously now we can't. So that's changing how we have had to do things. But at the same time, I don't know. It's very interesting because we're going through another spike now. I feel like I'm afraid like we're just gonna go. Like I'm wondering if we're gonna get back on some sort of like. I don't know about locked. Like I think more places are going to close again.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've already kind of talked about that in some states.
And maybe even the CARE Act, the unemployment like coming back for longer. I don't know. That's just getting more deep into just the movies. But my whole point is like.
The whole point is that it doesn't seem like things and then I think the greater ramifications is that because even if right like if everything and we're talking about movie theaters especially because like movies as a whole aren't going anywhere. Even if all of Hollywood crumbled tomorrow, something else would come up because people want to keep watching movies. That's not, there's no part of me that thinks, nice ASMR of the I did the same thing. Oh, Jesus. But movie theaters aren't necessarily, I think, so stable. We could eventually kind of get into a world where movie theaters are at least much more rare or maybe not even a thing at all. So obviously I don't think either of us want that reality to exist.
I know I don't want that to exist.
But it's that's kind of what I'm thinking is happening because what we're kind of I think part of what we're finding out is that a lot of these larger distributors, these big companies that own their own streaming services are kind of more happy just releasing their stuff on their services and fine with the money they'll make there and getting away from maybe the traditional movie theater process. But kind of let's kind of break it down a little bit more. I think it's funny that if you look at like Box Office Mojo as far as like biggest movies of this year, it's so sad in comparison. Like top movie this year was Bad Boys for Life and it made a whopping $204 million.
Wow.
That's like in comparison to last year where it was Endgame.
Well, to be fair, Endgame became the most
but there's been a movie over $1 billion every year for the past what?
But comparing it directly to last year too is it's a crazy drop. I'm just saying that, like that one made like 2.7 billion. But for the past at least probably 5 years at least, there's been at least one movie that's made over $1 billion.
Yeah. I would even say because didn't the first Avengers make over $1 billion? So it's probably been since at least 2012. But movies, all these films are getting still getting pushed back. Like Tenet, Christopher Nolan's next thing has been pushed back to indefinite. A Quiet Place 2, which was going to be our next movie, is now April of next year.
That was supposed to be our next movie after Onward, I think.
Yes.
Was the last movie
Onward was the last movie I've seen in theaters now.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. If that's the last movie I ever see in theaters, I'm going to be really upset.
It was fun, dude. It was fun.
The Mulan remake has just been pushed back till forever. Top Gun has been pushed back to next summer. All this kind of stuff being pushed back. But also there's a bunch of movies that are they just said, fuck it, like, let's release it. Like the Trolls World Tour was kind of unofficially like the biggest movie of the year just because of how many people watched it online.
There was another movie that got released recently, I believe. I can't remember what it was, but it got released online, and it was like $20 to rent.
Yeah, I think are you talking about the Pete Davidson comedy King of Staten Island? Because I think that's a Judd Apatow movie that he made, and that got released, and that did fairly well, being direct to video, and yeah, it had like I think you bought it. It's not a $20 rent. It's like $20 and you own the movie, but basically. You didn't have the option to rent it.
But as of recent, there was another movie that was like $20 to rent, and that's kind of the price they would have to do. Where you rent it for like, I think it's like the regular 48-hour rental or whatever, to even make the money you need to off of that, because you could get 7 people in a room and rent a movie for $20, which is a steal compared to how much ticket prices are. Before we jump off of the just kind of interesting, how many movies do you think hit over $1 billion? I have it right here.
Total?
Yeah.
Oh
just
gosh.
How many movies out there? It's a number you can fathom. It's not anything crazy.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's.
I'm just curious if you think you know.
I think it's
audience.
I'm gonna guess that it's sub 100. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's greater than 50.
I'm not giving you any I don't want to give you anything other than like the 100.
Okay, fine. I do think it's greater than 50. I think it's close to 100 though. Well, shit. Let's do like a nice middle number and say like 70.
It is 47.
47. Wow, it was less than I thought. But
47.
yeah, because I know. I mean, well, adjusted for inflation, got to throw Gone with the Wind in there.
And I'm not adjusting for inflation.
That puts me up 48. I was closer. No, but
the lowest movie coming in at 1 billion and then 1,000,000.7 is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So that was the.
And then that's like
right above it is The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey.
Oh yeah,
interesting. And then most of these are all, honestly,
they're all like big blockbusters.
They are all franchise
stuff.
I think. I don't know if there's any single standalone in here.
Well, if there's a movie that makes $1 billion, even if it was supposed to be a standalone, they're gonna make it a franchise.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. But
Alice in Wonderland. I think it's the only one in here that's not.
That's a franchise.
It's not.
There's like 3 movies.
Are there?
Yeah, there's definitely sequels.
Well,
the one with like Johnny Depp, it's like Tim Burton's Alice.
They
in
all
Wonderland.
sucked because.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them.
Yeah. I saw the first one, but I'm saying all the other ones because they're not in the billion range, and
I'm surprised that made $1 billion though. That's crazy. They were talking about they can't be talking about like some. Did that have I know that's based on a book, but did that have an OG movie back in the day?
It had a cartoon, but I don't know if it had you don't remember like Alice in Wonderland, like the Disney cartoon?
Oh, but that was a Disney movie cartoon, right? Or was it like
yeah,
okay.
But I don't know if there was another live action besides the
It's got to be the only one. Okay. I was
the one
not
we
a
are
Disney
talking
kid,
about, though,
so
is the one is the Tim Burton one.
Right.
Anyways, all that being said, so
So
will movies ever make $1 billion again?
No, but my kind of point is that it seems like theater, so obviously there's a lot of money in theaters, especially with these big blockbusters. I mean, Avengers last year making $2.7 billion, Star Wars makes a shit ton of money, all this kind of different stuff. But all that money has to be kind of divided up. If you make a movie, if you're like a little studio and you make a movie, then you have to sell it to the distributor, like, Paramount or something, and then they take a cut or they just buy it out from you. And then even then they have to split it up with all the different theaters. It's like a 55-45 cut, which goes, and that cut goes down in like, if it starts out 55-45, like 55 goes to the studio, 45 goes to the, theater chain. Then in the weeks following, it turns around. More and more percentage goes to the theater as the movie stays in theaters longer.
Right.
So, I mean, basically that's just further cutting up the money you're making on a movie going direct to release through theater. And then, obviously there's all the different costs of running it and marketing and all that kind of different stuff. Opposed to
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because studios take about 60%. So when they say like how much a movie made, is that just the 60%?
No, that's
I
the
didn't
total.
think so.
Yeah,
but that would be ridiculous.
No, that would be insane.
That might have been a dumb question, but because I didn't really ever think of that, like what they actually base that on. I would assume it would just be total ticket sales.
Right.
But
yeah. So I mean, that's you're dividing your money up a lot, opposed to like the Netflix model, which is basically just. Very little advertising. They pay for all their own stuff, and then it gets straight on their. It's like direct money. I mean, it's you sign on to their service, you pay to be on there, and you get the stuff that's on there. There's no. I mean, Netflix does advertising, obviously, but it's not. They don't do a super heavy advertising campaign, I don't think, for their stuff. If you're watching cable TV, you're not going to see ads for Netflix and stuff like that.
I Dude, I haven't had cable in so long that I don't even know. Do you think that they have commercials for Netflix?
No,
on cable?
I've been spending
so.
time around like people with cable, like with my grandparents and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Man, I tell you what though, cable TV sucks. I have a big affinity for the show Shark Tank. I don't know if you ever knew this.
Okay.
And I was trying to watch that with my grandparents while I was spending some time with them, and man, that like cable TV is so. They take a 4-minute premise and they stretch it out to like 15 minutes with just like they'll cut to commercial and then they'll come back and they'll have to like replay the last 30 seconds to like catch you back up, and then like they'll heighten the drama and they'll take dramatic pauses and showing all the different people's face. It's like, get to the point. Goddamn.
Is that just cable though?
Yeah, that's what that's cable. That's like reality TV cable kind of stuff.
Right, but do you watch reality? I guess the stuff.
Yeah,
that
like
you see on
the
Netflix,
stuff I've seen a little bit of, like America's Got Talent does like the same
Too
shit.
Hot
and
to
like
Handle.
I watched that. Does this? I mean,
then you can't say it's cable. Then that's
well,
just
the thing
reality
is
TV.
that I will say that's a little bit different because they know it was made for Netflix, so there's no commercial cuts.
Right.
So
you're just
they
ragging on reality TV. It has nothing to do.
Kinda, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I just feel like it's synonymous with cable, but even still, I mean, when you watch a movie on cable, it's if it was 2 hours before, it's 3 hours and 15 with commercials. Right. It's ridiculous.
So you to actually touch on something a little more personal.
Yep.
It kind of gets me thinking, and I was thinking about this recently, anyways. Too, is obviously I have experience in the field of, I don't know if you'd call it reality TV, but being on American Ninja Warrior, that airs on NBC. And with cable not, being as popular as it has been, and possible, the rates, dropping, I'm actually curious. I'm going to look up the viewership for American Ninja Warrior the past few years. But with that being said, I wonder if they would ever consider taking that show and putting it on, because NBC is now getting Peacock, which is their new streaming service.
Oh yeah, NBC's tried streaming services before.
But this is like their own streaming service that they're launching. They're obviously pulling. Isn't that the same one that's because The Office? They're gonna pull The Office and put it on Peacock, as well as I think they've advertised like Parks and Rec's gonna be on there and all that kind of stuff too. Right. So I'm wondering if a show, because again, branching into like a little bit of the reality, or I don't think American Ninja Warrior would just be reality. It's a game show, but whatever you want to consider that. If they would consider just putting it directly on there, and if they did, being a competitor on that show, I kind of wouldn't. I don't know how I would feel about if they just did it like they did Beastmaster, where they upload all of them at once, because then like. I don't know. I was always a fan, especially with The Mandalorian, how they did those weekly releases. Things didn't get spoiled. You could kind of, talk about things amongst each other and build that anticipation. It would be very, very different to see something like that for something like a game show.
Yeah, I think that they'll probably keep the model. A lot of these streaming services have been keeping the old model of weekly uploads for a series or show or whatever. Like HBO does it. Disney Plus obviously does it. It's more of like Netflix and I guess Hulu. Hulu drops the whole season, I believe, of their original content. I haven't watched a lot of Hulu stuff. But so I wouldn't be surprised. Plus, if they drop the whole thing all at once, that would be very strange. Just because it shortens the hype of it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I like it as a fan of Netflix. I like having the whole thing available to me because there are things that I've binged and I don't want to have to wait and like artificially. But as from the producer's side, it seems like a dumb move because you're talking about X thing for less time. I mean, imagine how much more publicity they could have gotten out of Tiger King, Netflix, if they stretched it like people were watching week to week to week, opposed to people watching all at once and then were crazy about it for like 3 weeks and then done. They could have gotten like 2 months out of it instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
do you think it would have been as hyped? You still think it would have been as hyped?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think...
I don't know, people losing interest between weeks, so it's like where you can see it all at once. Like, oh my gosh, this.
I don't think that's ever been
I don't think so either.
a case in TV in general, like where people are just like, I have to wait a whole week now. I mean, if they were going to be into it, they were going to be into it. Right. Especially since Tiger King had a strong start. Like, I think the first 2 or 3 episodes of it were the most interesting to me personally.
Yeah.
So... once you were already hooked on with that, I'm pretty sure you were going to stay on. But kind of back to what we're talking about. Now, here's an interesting thing I think about theaters is that theaters have, in a limited capacity, and in some places around here, reopened, but people are not flocking to them like you might think. They're not going. It's weird. So like when restaurants reopened, it was a big fucking, like, people went out to like as soon as, especially around here where we live, like as soon as you could go back, everyone was like, let's fucking go. And they were at limited capacity, but they were maxing out that limited capacity. Like, people were excited to go back. Weird thing about movie theaters, and I've looked into this even locally, people are not showing up. In fact, you know what NCG, our local theater, is doing?
What?
On Wednesdays, movies are free.
What?
There is no charge to walk into a movie on Wednesday. They just want you to walk in and hope you buy concessions.
Well, let's go to.
Yeah, I know.
Wednesday, dude.
But and I mean, you know, I guess
For
publicity.
real. That might be the first
if you
time.
live in the Sharpsburg area of NC, or actually if you live near an NCG, look it up. They might have a free day if the one near you is open.
Well, we should do that because this might be the only time in our life that we can go to a movie theater for free.
For free, yeah.
Crazy. We talk about that forever.
But yeah. I was looking at, although to reserve seats online, it did cost a penny per seat and a $1 convenience fee, quote unquote, per seat. So,
it's another dollar theater.
So basically, but I don't know if you walk in and just say,
Dude,
yeah, I want to go see that.
Buying concessions. If I don't have to pay for a ticket, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Popcorn and
balling out.
candy
Yeah.
and, like, that'll work for me.
I wonder what the distribution deal is on that, though. You know what I mean? They're
On-
showing a movie for free.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Are they? Do they have to still pay
Well, I'm
the
wondering.
studio? Like some limited.
I wonder if they're.
It wouldn't be a
obviously
lot,
There's
but-
limited movies. They're showing older movies,
Yeah.
like we were talking about too. I wonder if they're showing. If they have a deal with those studios to basically be like the studios.
Yeah.
Maybe the studios are afraid of the movie, like the theater industry going under.
Right.
And so they're saying we will allow you to show this for free because they knew they already made so. They're showing older movies.
Yeah.
They were not expecting to make more money off them anyways. So maybe they're like, here, show these movies, so we can keep bringing people in. Because as long as we can keep those numbers up and people are enjoying our movies, then they'll come back. But if it lulls for a long enough time, we might get scared. That's
Yeah.
what. That's
I
what
just
can
don't think
of.
like Paramount or Disney or any of those kind of things really give a shit about AMC, because you know, just like Universal has started has basically said we're just gonna throw all our movies out on streaming services when they come out in theaters anyway, because they don't. If anything goes wrong, all these movies will just sell to Netflix or the streaming services, and
But I don't think they make quite as much just selling them to Netflix.
Well, then why would Universal do it if they're not? If Universal doesn't make as much money just putting their shit out online, why would they do that?
Because we're going through a pandemic right now.
No, they said they were going to do that forever.
I don't know.
Isn't
I
that
don't
crazy? Right? Like, why? Why? That's my point. And from the fact that Netflix stock has gone at one point has gone from has gone up as much as $200 over the course of quarantine. Like, it feels to me like money is in the streaming shit.
Maybe they're just smart and they're ahead of the curve and they know where the future is going to go, because those people that can actually that's people that make it big, is people that see the need for something, make it, and then people that jump on. For example, kind of branch off here, but like Uber.
Yep.
That was huge, and people that are like, no one's going to get into a stranger's car, but the people that the streaming service, this is going to be the next thing. The people those are the people that created Uber, and now it's the people that have to invest in it that are going to made all the money because they invested in Uber, and then people are like, that's dumb, that's not going to work. So Universal might be that person that's investing in the new idea that's going to be good and make a lot of money. I hope not.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Because
if
I
this
want
is,
movie theaters.
If the streaming service is Uber, that means that the theaters are taxi drivers and they're fucked.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they are being smart, and we just don't know it. But I would be very sad.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think if anything, right, what you might end up finding is that movie theaters will become more prestige and more experience based. So it's something you go to less often, and it's more of those movie theaters that sell drinks and
expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that they'll be more expensive. Is that instead of going and spending $20 for a drink and a movie ticket, it's gonna be you're going to spend $50, but you're going to be in a really nice chair. You're going to have a waiter's going to come over. It's going to be more like that kind of stuff, which I don't like because I hate waiters walking around during the middle of the theaters.
So much money because I have to go to a theater. I don't for real. That is a huge part.
But at the same
of my
time,
life.
we won't have to go to, because I think if that happens, if we get there, then what'll happen is that at the same time, these movies will just come out on streaming services that you'll just be able to rent for $5, or you'll already have
But
them
that's
because
my
they'll
point.
be Netflix.
Is like I have to go to it. Like that is such an important experience in my life. Going to watch movies in a theater, the theater experience is so important to me. I can name like multiple.
But I had the money for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I can name multiple movies that really touched me on a level that like the experience made that. And
Yeah.
to be honest, a lot of those are a good handful of those are Marvel movies, those big spectacle movies
Mhm.
that I really enjoy, and then that experience of seeing it with those people that you have such this fan base, and being able to be in a place with all these other people who are enjoying it as well. Like it's this community experience. Like I really think, and a reason that we started this podcast, for me at least, is I like when movies make me feel things, and the experience of being around movies and all that stuff, and what they mean. It's more than just sitting down and watching something, obviously, or we wouldn't
Right.
have a whole podcast about it. Like it helps you tell more about who you are as a person, the movies that you like, the experience that you can share with other people, the things you can talk about after watching it, and like sharing the feeling of whatever that is portraying to you amongst other people. Like I can feel that. Like I can feel the energy. Like I can't go like without that. Like I'll be a sad boy if they get rid of movie theaters.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. All this is still speculation. Movie theaters are still around. I mean, AMC hasn't gone under yet, even though they kept saying they would. Regal's still around. And to be honest, if there could be another outcome where, all these, AMC goes under and totally falls apart. And has to try to like liquidate their assets and stuff like that, and then Corona goes away eventually, or we beat it, or whatever needs to be happen for that, and then all of a sudden now there's a big vacuum for a new movie theater chain to open up, because there's a bunch of when you build a building for like the NCG movie theater building, it's hard to change that into something else. Like what would you
Yeah.
How would you redo that into another? It would be a lot of work. So, it'd be cheap to get into these spaces again and then have this whole other new theater chain that could be even cheaper. It could be an overall kind of good for the consumer, at least. If experience. Plus, think about all the job loss of like all those movie theaters going under, and like because there are so many people who work inside of movie theaters all the time, and they're so common. Oh my God, that'd be insane. So many, yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking up. I'm gonna distract you here. I'm looking up the movies that are playing right now, and there are movies that they're old. Yeah. Again, there are older movies that I haven't seen.
Back to the Future was one I wanted to see in theaters that they
Scream.
Did.
I feel like we have
that was
kind of
cool. Yeah.
Because Tyler Gillette is going to be directing the new Scream 5. Not me. If you don't know who he is,
you're not.
You will.
There was some. I think
Matrix.
Park.
Jurassic
Matrix
Park.
Is there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Pulp Fiction was playing at NCG.
Yep,
I thought that was fucking cool.
Matrix. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down. I'm bummed they aren't playing the Avengers still. I want to go see the
Might
Avengers
make it
again
back in circulation. I think they change weekly, it seems like.
We got to go quick, man, because it is the 27th.
Yep.
And it says all movies are free on Wednesday through July.
Oh, so basically next week. That's it.
So we got to go, bro. We got to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
So what else do you got? Do you have any other statistics here about like the changes that have happened and everything else? Or are we jumping straight into speculation at this point?
We've already kind of dabbled into a little bit of speculation, but my kind of main thing is that like these streaming services are just getting so there are so many, they're getting so successful. It's crazy to me how successful Disney Plus has been, even though Disney Plus has been my like most of the ones I actually pay for. I'm least satisfied with Disney Plus. We got it last year when The Mandalorian dropped.
There's a lot of nostalgia.
And I watched that, and I've rewatched a couple Marvel movies. I've rewatched all of Star Wars, and that's it.
There's a lot.
Clone Wars, the 7th season came out, and I rewatched that. I watched that.
There's a lot of nostalgia on that platform, but they have not been able to put a lot of new content.
But in comparison to how I use Netflix and Amazon Prime, and now even Hulu, because I've watched some other sitcoms and stuff like that. But in comparison to mostly Netflix, Disney Plus has been letting me down, dude. There's nothing. Maybe it's just too family friendly or something, but nothing on there. I'm like, I gotta watch that.
It's a lot of nostalgia from
I'm just on there for and
old
we
Disney
were
shows.
told like why is Winter Soldier what is it, Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Why is that not dropped? They keep pushing it back. Why? What are they waiting? It's a streaming service show. Why are they pushing it back for COVID?
So I don't know if they're completely done with it. I would.
It was slated to release like 3 months ago.
Right. I would venture to think that they are.
Do you think they didn't finish filming or something, and that's why?
So either they didn't finish filming, or if they did, Marvel is very particular about releasing their movies in order, and because these shows are so folded into the universe of MCU, it probably affects things of how they're when and how they release them.
When they were supposed to release Black Widow this summer, and now they moved it back to November, correct?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So then I guess that would make sense as far as if they want to keep the timings consistent.
Which makes it very
I just want to get it's going to be we bought the full year of Disney Plus, which I mean was like what, $60 or something like that?
We put it on our business
exactly.
account.
Like
we put it on our business account.
But we're getting close to like redoing the year, and I still didn't get the big things I wanted to watch were the Marvel shows. I got Mandalorian, and that was it pretty much. But here's the crazy thing. So, do you know how many users Disney Plus has? I
don't know now, but I was looking up some of the stats. The first day, they had over 10 million subscribers.
That's insane. And their 5-year plan was to reach 60 to 90 million subscribers. They're already at 54.5 million.
Yeah,
that's insane to me.
Yeah,
that's crazy numbers.
Disney, bro. Disney owns the world. How much? It's like $5 a month.
I think it's $6
a month.
Yeah, something like that.
So let's just say
I definitely don't think it's gonna. I thought it was gonna. People were talking about being the Netflix killer, but it's not.
The first day.
Yeah.
The first day, and again, this is how much money they made on the first day. If everyone just got the first month,
right?
But that's not the case because people got a year, so they made way more than this. Minimum is, if it's $6 a month, 10 million, $60 million in a day. It's a nice paycheck.
Yeah.
But apparently Verizon was doing where you get like a free year or something with your contract.
I did see that. Yeah, I think if you had to switch over, or it was some kind of thing.
But their money has to be coming from somewhere. So does that mean Verizon's just fronting a $6 a month basically?
Yes, I think so. Or maybe a lesser. It might not be the full 6. They might have made a deal, but Disney
still made almost $50 million in one day.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's mind-boggling, honestly. But it's funny. What's struggling? What's really doing bad right now is streaming service.
What?
Quibi.
No. Not surprised.
Quibi gets a bad rap, and sure, I've watched some of the stuff, and everything I've seen on it has been bad.
You watch Quibi? It's free, right?
Yeah. The thing when it launched, they were giving out a 3-month free trial. And so I was like, okay, I'll sign up for it. Fuck it. I literally, on Apple, you can sign up for stuff, and then you can immediately cancel it, and you'll still have all the time left over.
So for those of you guys that don't know what Quibi is, it's a new streaming service that they're basically making
in April, I think.
Like 5-minute episodes. Like all their episodes are like super short.
They're making all their stuff is their own content, which I'll respect them for. Like it's all Quibi made stuff, and they have a cool rule where it's like they spend $100,000 a minute or something like that. That's like their budget for things, like that might be their max budget. I'm not sure.
So but high quality. Does it look nice?
Yeah, like things are well made. Like it's not YouTube Red. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like top tier Netflix shows either. It's no Ozark or anything. That's what I'm saying. As far as like actual quality of the shows, it seems like they're spending a lot of money on talent. Like having a celebrity be the main guy of the show. Like Liam Hemsworth has his own show. Anna Kendrick has her own show. Chrissy Teigen has her own show. It's like every show has a main. Oh, look, famous person.
How much money you think they're making? Like the stars.
Well, they invested. Like they had like several $1 billion. I don't know how much. Liam Hemsworth got paid for like his show, because his entire show was basically the length of probably a pretty short movie for like the whole first season of it or whatever. So I'm sure he probably just got paid like a pretty average movie rate, maybe a little lower because it's on Quibi. But the main thing is that out of all the people who signed up for the 3-month free trial, they lost 92% of them when the trial ended.
Ooh,
that's big.
That is bad.
That is a lot. They are hemorrhaging money, and so basically, here's how it is. So they're constantly unveiling content all the time on the app, new shows, new episodes for shows, all this kind of stuff. But it's all the stuff they have backloaded. And so now that they're not making any money, if you love Quibi and you're sitting on there, 3 months from now, you got to be thinking to yourself, there's no everyone hates this app. They're not going to be able to afford making any new things on here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this is just going to be dead, and I'm just going to keep paying to have nothing on there. Or it's just going to go under, one of the two. But, yeah, it really doesn't seem like, for whatever reason, it's doing all that well.
It's a very interesting concept, and I don't know. I'm trying to think what. Obviously with the stats, it's not doing very well. But before all that, I'm trying to think
if
that idea was introduced to me before, if I would have been like, that's a cool idea and might actually work. I don't know. I feel like there's so much stuff on YouTube now that like if you want to watch something high quality, you're down to sit down and watch a 30-minute episode of it.
Right.
But again, just because it's 5 minutes doesn't mean it's bad. I don't know.
Well, they were trying to, like, the Vine TikTok audience, I think they were trying to get a little bit into. They were like, okay, how can we make basically high quality but also low attention span, like, material? And I think that is a very hard thing to try to do because I think the whole reason that people watch things like Vine and TikTok is just because it's such a random smorgasbord of what you're going to get. You have no idea. You just get on there and you're just going to see wild shit. Like, if you know a show and you plan on watching it, I feel like it has a totally different effect to your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different. You're looking for something else that they're not quite getting into.
Yeah, like if I want to watch something like that short kind of thing, it's not like I want to get like super invested in it usually, unless it's something specific I'm looking for on YouTube, like that I want to pay attention to. But even then, it's like those things are short for entertainment, like usually not to like soak into like deep into this, like get really invested in a way like that a show does. Like I get invested, but it's completely different.
It seems like if you're opening
it's
up,
not that it couldn't work. It's just it's hard.
It's just if you're going for why people looked at Vine and then now TikTok or even Instagram stuff or anything like that, I think it's a totally different. They're not looking for a story there. You know what I mean? You're looking for a cheap laugh. I don't know. Tits and ass. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. That's why people look at these apps. I mean, it's some kind of just very quick, immediate serotonin dump into your brain that you can get from a short video that some guy made for free and posted on there, opposed to you paying thousands of dollars per minute. So, I don't think Quibi is going to be long for this world. They are doing some changes, like they're moving it so that it's not just on mobile. You're going to be able to do it on your TV and on computers and stuff like that. And then also,
it's only on mobile?
Yeah, it was only on mobile. You couldn't have it on.
Hurts them too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know why you would make that self-imposed limitation. And then also they're going to raise the 10-minute mark, so things can be longer on there now. I think they'll still want things to be shorter, but it's in a weird way. They're like, okay, yeah, I can understand why they make those decisions, but also they're losing their identity.
Yeah,
there's no Quibi's just another
Netflix.
Like Netflix, except it's kind of worse now because Netflix is huge. They've been at this for a while. They have other people's content. They have this huge catalog of stuff and huge variety. And they do have some like high quality, critically acclaimed television and movie stuff. Opposed, most of it's not, but
yeah, I don't know. It didn't interest me enough to even start watching anything on Quibi. So
it's not. Like I said, nothing on there made me happy, but
so
it was still interesting to look at. But
as far as movies like getting pushed back and all this kind of stuff and everything being kind of crazy, flip side into something that I guess is positive as far as like something I'm seeing somewhat of progress on is something we actually posted on our Instagram, which was that Uncharted has started filming. Like Tom Holland posted about how he was on his first day, and they've started production and all that. And that movie was supposed to be out in December of this year. Got pushed back to July of next year.
Yeah, sure.
But as far as I know, that's one of the first big blockbuster movies that is actually like fast tracked. Like
I am super worried about that movie though.
Well, regardless of whether it's gonna be good or bad, that's not.
No,
what I'm
I know
worried
that's
about.
not what you're
it's
talking
just,
about. But
it's a big name. Well, Tom Holland and Uncharted.
Yeah,
and they're starting up. So
yeah, I mean, I know, like, golly, that filming process must be a complete bitch because I mean, because filming is expensive and long and all this kind of stuff normally, but now they have to have all these added measures of like distancing and hygiene and sanitation and stuff like that. That must just be so much work to try to keep up. That's insane. Tyler's grabbing a charger, so I'm just gonna riff here. No, but they're Uncharted as far as the movie goes, man, because everyone knows the rap that video game movies have. I mean, Uncharted is a video game series that's been it ended now. They're not making any more, but the games have been going on for a while and pretty beloved. And I think a lot of people are. I mean, we even posted about this on our Instagram. People are not super happy with the casting of Tom Holland in that role.
Yeah, the few people that have actually commented on it were like, nah.
Which I understand because you never really had a thing with the games. I mean, you just you like Tom Holland, and I mean I like Tom Holland too.
Yeah, but I did think it's kind of an interesting choice.
Because and so Uncharted the game is basically Indiana Jones the game. That's basically what it is. The main guy is an Indiana Jones and he goes around and he's like an archaeologist. I mean, he's not actually he's basically just a treasure hunter. That's the whole thing. So it's basically if they were doing if they did Indiana Jones 5 and they rebooted instead of somebody like Harrison Ford or like Chris Pratt or something like you'd feel would be a good replacement, they did Tom Holland. And it would be like, that's a little weird just because he's so boyish.
Right, but I feel like he's been in a lot of things where he is kind of like boyish and then has to come into his own.
I've never seen him in anything else.
I'm excited to see his acting range, and I hope he can actually be like come on screen and be kind of like this snarky
Hey, I hope so too, but
guy who is super adventurous and like in his own his own person who's like strong and does his own thing. I don't know. I like Tom Holland. I think he's a good actor, so I'm curious to see how it goes. But I'm not as tied to Uncharted, so I don't really care as far as like they cast him. I said, cool. I'm gonna see how it goes. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Like I'm not as worried about it because I'm not as tied to that.
They must be doing some kind of like young version of the character. Maybe
or they want to make more movies and they want him to start it. So maybe he does start out as more of a
that's a real planning thing. Like I get that with Spider-Man because obviously, I mean, Spider-Man has always been a juggernaut of a character,
and this is more comic book accurate that he starts younger.
So I mean, the idea that you'd start young, that way you can have him play the character for a long time makes sense. But with Uncharted, where it's like most likely they'll make the one movie, it'll do okay, and then it'll be over. It's I mean that's how most video.
I would not be surprised if they made like 2 or 3 of them though. If it went well.
What video game movie have they made into a franchise? They really haven't.
Detective Pikachu, I think.
Are they doing another one?
I know Sonic already has a sequel, so maybe the video game like franchise thing is like a new thing. Yeah, I mean they made some one-offs that haven't been great.
Yeah,
but like the ones that are now coming in and starting to do well.
I was thinking of like comparing it to like because I feel like the closest comparison is because those are like Sonic and what was the other one you said? Sorry, Pikachu. Those are more. I can't. It feels weird to compare them to Uncharted, which is like a mature kind of a game, and that's more of like a more children's game.
Yeah.
I would compare it more to like the Assassin's Creed movie they made with Michael Fassbender, which totally flopped.
They would have made more of those though.
Yeah, if it had done well. But I'm just saying, like, they just don't have any proof that these things are going to do
but
well.
I'm not saying that if it doesn't do well, it's not going to. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised they have plans of making more.
Yeah, it just seems like a comparison. If they had cast Chris Pratt as Uncharted, I promise you people would have been like, fuck yes. Because that feels kind of right. He's not perfect. He doesn't look like the guy, but neither does Tom Holland. But he's got the snark going. I mean, they're like Chris Pratt in Guardians and Nathan Drake in Uncharted are pretty much the same guy, except Nathan Drake's a little bit more competent at his job.
Well, you also have him in Jurassic World, where he does do that.
Yeah, he's basically Jurassic World is basically more so on Nathan Drake. So why not? I mean, like, are people going to be like, no, we're seeing him do that too much? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. I think people would just be like, okay, cool, I can get behind this, especially if you were a fan of the series. But I don't know. I mean, it could be fine. I'll still give it a shot. But that's pretty off topic here. I tell you what.
Well, that's one of the only new movies that we actually have to talk about that something's actually happening. But I mean, I don't know. As far as everything going on with movies right now, I kind of explained why I'm just going to be devastated if they get rid of movie theaters. That experience, I think, is so integral to movies, at least for me. And I know, Nate, you have a little bit of a different opinion as far as there are movies you'd rather see at your house. But, like, for me,
I've just had bad movie theater experiences. If I was in an empty theater, like if I could choose to be in an empty, like obviously this doesn't make sense for some movies like Star Wars and Marvel. I don't want to see in an empty theater. That sounds depressing. But if I was gonna watch The Lighthouse in theaters, I would not want to see it in like a busy theater where like some dude's on his phone and people are coughing or crinkling up candy
That's
wrappers.
completely different,
That
though.
sucks.
On your phone making noise. That's just
But that is
disrespectful.
theaters, especially busy ones.
To be honest, I haven't been to like that. That doesn't happen a ton for me. There are moments where that happens.
I've gone to theaters in like Atlanta a little bit more,
Yeah.
like, well, not recently, but in the last like year or two, and because we live in an area where it's like kind of nice and also not super busy. So the theaters, except for the big releases, are not super busy. There's people in there, but it's not crazy. When I was up there, the theaters were always almost packed. And everyone was just terrible. I hated everybody, and no one cares about talking. Everyone's loud, and it's a bad experience in and around.
Man, I tell you what, going to see, because I
Atlanta.
don't like scary movies, but going to see a scary movie where we have the theaters to ourselves.
I'll tell you that,
are
man.
fantastic.
Some of the I love that. Maybe we're too old now because I have some like great like high school-esque experiences we both do of like scary movies, but also like you remember that really dumb movie? Was it Bad Grandpa?
Yeah.
Not the one with Robert De Niro, the one with the Jackass guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw that in a packed out theater, like back when we were, because I came
was
out.
with you, bro.
Were you with me?
Tucker was there.
Oh
it was
my
me,
God,
You, Tucker,
yeah.
Nathan.
That was a fun ass theater, dude.
Yeah.
That was great. And that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you can get that vibe really. If we're just, I don't know if I'm too old man now to like
Nah, I
enjoy
don't
something
think
like
so.
that. Maybe not. I
But
hope not.
but the scary movie, especially because we did
Yeah.
that even more recently with we had an almost empty theater with As Above So Below way back when. There were
Did
a couple
we?
people in there. There was like a couple behind us, maybe 2 or 3 people in front of us. That was it.
Oh, did you see
But
the other one with us? The one with It Follows?
no.
Oh, that was one
But
of my best.
oh my gosh, the new Blair Witch that we saw.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just me, you, and who else was there? It was one other person. It was just like the 3 of us,
Mm-hmm.
and like nobody else was there. And then obviously the most recent one we saw wasn't an empty theater, but we were still dying, like laughing because how ridiculous it was.
It's still weird to think that new Blair Witch Project remake had the main guy went to our high school. He was like 2 years
Oh
old.
yeah, I guess we should mention that. That's kind of an interesting.
Yeah,
fact.
it's kind of a weird thing.
Part of the whole reason I went to go see it, because I hate scary movies. Obviously, I've said that a lot. Was because the guy who was the main character went to my high school. He went to the same drama club that I was.
Yeah, he was in Walking Dead too for a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe
Now,
so.
to be fair, I'm not like friends with him. I'm not trying to pull that or anything. But like, and I think he
Come on the
graduated-
show.
Oh, feel free to come on the show. Like I've talked to him. I hung out with him like once with another friend. Just because
This is probably like years ago now.
Yeah, he graduated the year. Like he graduated the year before I got into high school.
Yep.
So I think. And then I had one friend that was like a junior or something. So he was older than me, but he knew him obviously. So there was one time that the 3 of us like hung out or whatever, but that was it. But he's a cool guy, and that was why we went to go see that. And I think we had a pretty much empty theater, which was nice because I hate scary movies. So let me talk during them, please.
Yeah, I mean it's really fun. Like, I have a bad tendency to like yell out in the scary movies in the theater.
So that is something that we're gonna miss, man. That is something we're gonna miss.
I don't
Except
know.
those we could just see at home when we have ourselves. So that's probably one I wouldn't really miss that much. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything else as far as like statistics and stuff go, as far as like everything going on, but it's crazy. What do you think is gonna happen? Like if you had to guess, what do you actually think is gonna happen?
I think, well, it's so hard to tell right now because we're in this like weird in between where we don't know if things are gonna like lock down more, or if people are just gonna open up and say fuck it, people are gonna get sick, I guess. Like we don't really know what the vibe is gonna be, especially like nationwide. I don't see Georgia really closing down again, but I didn't see Georgia closing down the first time. So, if I had to guess, oh man, I kind of do think that movie going, maybe not immediately, but will kind of end up in this kind of niche market where it's more experience based and it's less of a cheap, let's do it every other weekend kind of thing. It's more of a thing you do like 3 or 4 times a year, and it's more of a special. There's less theaters are available. You have to drive farther. Like maybe in our Atlanta area, there like NCG and Regal won't exist, but you'll have to like and somewhere in like around Atlanta there will be like 2 or 3 theaters that are like really big and really nice and really fancy that you have to go to in order to kind of like have that experience, and like everyone will go there for the big events, and because of the lack of theaters, renting online will become bigger, and there will be they're probably trying to crack down on like having people over, and like it'll probably be more expensive to rent on day one or something like that unless it's out of streaming service, but it'll probably I do think that we're kind of heading towards a shift away from the theater style. I hope it stays the same. I like how it is, but
I think it would almost be on the verge of ignorant to say things aren't going to change in some way with theaters, because obviously they already are, but in a permanent way. Hopefully not that drastic, but I can see it being that drastic. And I just say that because, dude, things change over time. Like that's just like the rule of life. Because even with how we communicate,
we've
phones,
silently watched dollar theaters go away, and it's just kind of like they don't exist anymore. It's so weird.
Like, but just how we communicate on our phones, social media, even how just advertising for anything works now is so different from what it was years ago. Like the radio is almost gone. Like I feel like not very many people just turn on the radio now.
Yeah, I can't like
the way we listen to music has changed fundamentally. So the fact that saying the way we watch movies isn't going to change fundamentally at some point, hopefully not soon, hopefully this isn't the turning point, but this is going to be a turning point, I think. Just because that's just what happens. I think this is going to show how important and it is to be on these streaming platforms. I don't like that, but I think it is going to change. I hope not as drastically as we have addressed, because I don't want it to. I love movie theaters, but I can see it being more of a special occasion, but that would make me sad. I'm going to be spending $50 every week to go see a movie.
I'm not doing that. I'm getting I'm going to have my ass in my own room looking at my big-ass screen. That's going to be great.
We're just going to have to, honestly, with that kind of money, we'll just say we'll make our own movie theater at that point.
Damn, I don't think that math works out.
No. We'll do it. I'm down.
That would be amazing, though. Love to own a movie theater. Holy shit. But it's funny that you mentioned the radio thing, because that's so right. We're actually, I don't know if you remember back when we were in like high school. There was like I guess you call him a radio host, a disc jockey, like a station that had like that I remember listening to like on my way to school with Jonah every day in the car. It was like this really raunchy station where they would do like ridiculous things, but it was funny, and like it was just a weird little thing that we did. It was only on for like 5 minutes at a time. They play a song in between, but like, man, if you're 16 now, that doesn't fucking exist for you, right? I mean, they don't know. We sound old.
You plug in your phone. The what radios are now. If you want to listen to the people talk on radios, it's what we're doing right here. It's podcasts.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the last time I remember listening to people actually talk on the radio was I remember dropping you off at that
job?
Saya.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where you used to work early in the morning,
Yeah.
and I would drive back. And in the mornings where they talk more than just actually play songs.
Yeah.
Like it's early in the morning. And I remember tuning into the same station because I got to know the people just by listening. Like a podcast. Like podcast before podcast. Podcast existed then, but it was before I really was getting into podcasts. And that's the last time I remember really listening to the radio like that.
Yeah, I remember I did it. I had to listen to it not too long ago because I was driving somewhere, it was kind of far, and my phone had died, and I didn't have my charger on me, so I just had the radio on. Oh, my God. It was so bad, though. It was like a talk show, but it was the same thing as like with reality TV. It was like they would like talk for like 30 seconds, and then they would cut to a break, and then when they came back, they'd have to spend the 30 seconds reiterating what they had said before to people who had just tuned in, and I was like, I'm losing my mind. You're re-saying the same shit over and over again. Now I know what people who listen to this show go
But it's like convenience and time is so essential to humans.
Yeah.
That's why things have changed in the ways of, I mean, everything. Even in the ways that we watch TV now. If the ways that we watch television shows are changing so drastically, the fact to just say movies aren't going to change, they are in some way at some point. And again, I hope it's not as drastic. I want movie theaters to stay around. I hope movie theaters can learn to adapt. I don't know what that answer is, but if they can learn to adapt in some way to keep theaters that is still profitable, be fantastic.
Yeah, I think it'll be a slower change. I mean, even, it's kind of a funny thing is that, nobody listens to the radio for the most part. I mean, it's like it's really it's not a selling point for anybody's car, and yet there's no new car that doesn't have a radio function in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, at what point are we eventually going to get to the point where you buy a new Honda and it doesn't have the radio, because why would it?
Right.
And that has to come eventually, right?
Yeah, just like there are cars now that don't have CD drives.
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
USB hookups now for your phone.
Sure. Or actually, most of them just Bluetooth.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of the newer ones do have that too,
Like a
because you got to
USB.
charge your phone too, and then
They just have a
connect
port
too.
right into it. Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Use
the
my
car
damn
I
cigarette
rented
lighter.
the other day, I just plugged my USB into it. My car that I have has one.
It's just straight USB into it.
It just the USB doesn't work.
Oh, nice.
That's the one thing on the car that didn't work, so I have to have like the little car adapter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy. But I don't know. I think we covered a lot here. But to wrap it up, what are a couple? I'll name my top 3.
Yep.
Movies that got postponed that I'm most excited to see coming back.
Oh, okay.
That I can think of. The ones that I can think of. I pulled up a little bit of a list just to kind of refresh myself. But those movies would be Tenet.
Yep.
Seeing the trailers for that.
Tenet's on my list too. I mean, Christopher Nolan
It's a Christopher Nolan
doesn't go
film,
wrong very often.
yeah, which is great, and it gives a very almost like Inception vibe as far as like what I mean by that is a new sci-fi kind of action thriller, but made by somebody who I've already seen do that kind of movie in a way that is actually meaningful
Right.
and impactful. So that's one.
I'll be honest about Tenet though. I am worried because it's got time travel stuff in it, and time travel stuff is always like murky, man. Especially when you're trying to do grounded like sci-fi type stuff. Whenever you start involving time travel, it's like, man, this is gonna start not making sense.
I don't know.
Quick.
It's not quite time, at least from what I can tell. It's not like time jumping.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like
going
reverse, and
which
yeah,
is dope.
but yeah, it seems like there's some crazy shit going on, but. Yeah, I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Obviously Black Widow, because I'm a Marvel fan and
Sure.
I want to see what they're gonna do. I'm curious as to what they're gonna do with these new movies. So obviously I'm super excited for that one to see what they do. And then lastly, talk about this one a lot too, is A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah.
Those would be my top 3. Super stoked about A Quiet Place. It was like less than a week away, and then everything shut down. So, which is interesting because those are 3 very. I mean, they're all kind of action-y movies. I guess not so much as A Quiet Place, but they're very different movies.
Yep.
So those are my 3. Do you have a?
Yeah.
list
I mean, Tenet was on my list too. We already kind of talked about that, but I mentioned a movie I have mentioned a couple times now. The Green Knight.
Oh yeah.
That has been pushed back indefinitely as well. I want A24 to come out with their own streaming service. I'll buy that shit in a heartbeat.
I'm so like
You've only seen like 2 movies from them.
No, I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple more.
You've seen Uncut Gems and The
Yeah.
Lighthouse. What else have you seen?
I swear I've seen one that I did really like.
There's probably. I mean, if
I'll
I
have
had
to look
guess,
into 'em.
But I just all their shit. Every time I watch their stuff, it's always like, oh, like it's so out there and weird. Not all of it's great. I did not like Uncut Gems.
This is
you know
probably
what I mean? Like
this
that kind of stuff.
It's probably very hypocritical of
Yeah.
me, but I just you saying that it's like he's just like, man, you're such a fanboy for A24 that just doesn't make. I just people that are like, oh, they're gonna make good stuff because they're A24.
I just like
and I'm
what
so
they're
down.
doing.
But I would do that if Marvel just made a Marvel
Yeah.
stream platform. That's why
You would
I know
be
I'm
all over
hypocritical,
it.
which I basically am. It
Yeah.
was Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I bought Disney Plus.
Yep.
To be fair, Star Wars, love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Glad that's on there. Nice bonus.
Yeah. So I mean, sue me, call me A24 fanboy. I don't give a fuck. I like what they're doing. They do cool shit. There's other people who do cool shit
Whatever.
too. It's not like they're the best of the best, and I like them a lot.
I applaud them because a lot of the stuff they do, they're trying different stuff.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Nothing.
I
that
don't
they-
think that and I know you agree with this, but
Yeah.
just because you do new stuff doesn't mean it's good.
No, not at all.
Uncut
But
Gems, it's
yeah,
not good.
Uncut Gems. We both were like,
But
nope.
it's been it's just been hit and miss. Like it's not anything crazy for me, so I just don't really care.
Well, my track record with it is better than hit or miss, but you didn't like The Lighthouse either, so I understand. But there's some stuff that they have that's not all like, weird wackadoo shit like The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems. They have more kind of normal shit. Anyway, so Tenet, but then again, then A Green Knight, but also the Dune movie that they're making that was supposed to. I think it's now slated for still supposed to come out this year, December 18th. But it's based on the book series. They also made a movie back in I think the 80s. But it's a crazy sci-fi universe type thing, and it's got Oscar Isaac and that kid everyone talks about, Timothy Chalamet. He's been in like everything on Netflix recently.
The name sounds familiar. I know
yeah,
if I see him.
he's been in a lot of shit. I haven't actually seen any of the stuff he's been in though. So I don't know, but people,
So
he's been like, I think last year he was in that movie with Steve Carell, like called the Kid, something like that. I think it came out last year, where like the kid's on drugs and Steve Carell's the dad, and
Oh, I know.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that was him. But yeah, that looks just straight up my alley.
So those
cool
are your
sci-fi.
3, 2
yeah.
A24 ones and the Tenant.
Dune's not A24.
I thought you said Dune was A24.
No, just the Green Knight.
Oh, I thought you said that they made. I thought you were talking about. I swear you said that. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Did you know that I was looking up A24 films that they made a movie called The Death of Dick Long?
No. Oh my! And he's even like shooting fire from his crotch.
Oh my gosh, he is!
All right, well I know what I'm watching.
That is gonna have to be a full episode all in of itself.
Oh my god, the death of Dick Long. Holy shit!
The death of Dick Long. Well, we're gonna end you on.
And we're gonna end you.
We're gonna end you.
Watch out, bro.
We're gonna end you with Dick Long.
Yep.
But yeah, I will be very interested to see what happens in the future with all the movie things, and we will keep you guys up to date.
Wow.
But in the meantime, you can go ahead and follow us at That's Movies Brother on Instagram, and also That's Movies Brother on YouTube, because we're here now. We're really getting to the swing of things here.
Really getting into it. And there's going to be more stuff than just podcast stuff up there eventually, whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, we're getting there. Things have been really busy these last couple weeks. But yeah, if you guys are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please give us a review.
5-star review.
That would be fantastic.
If you do it, I'll Venmo you $5. Is that unethical?
Is that we're gonna set up a Patreon, and the first tier is mandatory, and you have to screenshot that you took a picture. We kick you out of our Patreon. Don't know why we would do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're paying us, and we're gonna kick you out of it because you
don't give us a review. Yeah, but that is it. We thank you.
And to those who have actually given reviews, some of them are very nice, and thank you. And I am amazing. Thank you for noticing. That was great. But yeah.
And we're gonna go see a free movie on Wednesday. I have to now at this point.
Hell yeah, bro.
Probably
Back
make
to the Future.
Full episode of that. Well, if we do Back to the Future,
Marty McFly.
That's a series. We have to start a new series.
We did plan on doing it that way. No, we're not changing up the series. We're still doing that. We're doing an update episode this week though, Thursday, right?
Yeah. So this Thursday episode, guys, we are going to be doing a episode talking about the Planet of the Apes, reviewing the Planet of the Apes.
Yep. So if you got your questions, if you think we're wrong, fuck you. If you think we're right, thanks. So
we're gonna be doing a live stream. It'll be on That's Movies Brother Instagram, as well as my personal Instagram at Tyler C. Gillette. So me and Nate can both be on there.
We should be able to stream from this camera.
Yeah, we'll be streaming from this.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if we'll actually be able to do that straight on Instagram. Can we do that?
It advertises that.
We'll figure it out. We're getting used to all this, but yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So if you guys have any questions about anything movie related, we'll welcome any of it. We are specifically also gonna be talking about Planet of the Apes because we're wrapping up that series as we branch out into our new series.
It's so funny because
give more updates about the podcast. That's kind of what
feels
we do.
like so long ago. Even that the war episode just came out like 4 days ago.
Yeah, but we recorded like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
ago.
I know. So I'm like, oh yeah, we did that.
But yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. That has been Movies, and we have been your brothers. We've been your brothers.
We've been your brothers.
So
we're now your brothers. See you at Christmas, bitches.
Welcome to the family. And
welcome to the family.
See
Where's
you
that?
later.
That's from something.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
Bye.